Welcome, everyone, to the Profit for Your Business podcast. I'm Jim Heisey, and this week we are delighted to have Susan Catalano with us. Susan is the owner of a digital marketing firm specializing in LinkedIn. She assists businesses leverage LinkedIn for business development through marketing awareness and lead generation programs. So, Susan, welcome. And we're going to talk about LinkedIn today. That's a
Yes, we
topic
are.
that really is important for small business people.
Yes, it is. Yeah, thanks for
So,
having me, Jim. I'm excited to be on the show and glad to talk about LinkedIn.
thanks. Yeah, me too. So, tell me a little bit about LinkedIn. What do people use LinkedIn for?
Yeah, I think probably what most people identify LinkedIn for is job search, which it is a great place to find a job as well as to look for great candidates. But it's not just for job seekers. It's, in fact, to use it for just that purpose is using a very small percentage or portion of it to its full extent. In my view, it's fabulous to use it for networking, and that's for business networking as well as job networking, but certainly for business development purposes, for marketing awareness, as well as for lead generation. You're leveraging the platform properly with a nice systematic process can really benefit any business, and only any business if you're looking to target professionals and other businesses, because that's the place, that's the location that those folks like to hang out in.
Sure. So, when you say target, how does that work on LinkedIn?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of wonderful attributes about LinkedIn, some very unique things about the platform, and some advantages from other platforms. So one of them is their precision targeting capabilities. Because we professionals have been packing it with first-party data like our names, our titles, our locations, our companies that we work with, the skills, and a host of other things, we have the potential to target those individuals, our exact ideal clients, or referral sources, or influencers, very easily on the platform to do so. So that is a wonderful attribute of the platform. And I kind of suggested this earlier. Another wonderful thing, which is a little different than your question, is it's just a great quality audience on the platform. They're more educated, they're more employed, they're decision makers. And if those professionals are the folks that you need to get in front of, it's a great place to have a good strategy around for any size business, including small businesses.
Yeah, I agree. That's a really important thing. How did, two questions actually. So I get that the audience is great on LinkedIn. How does it fit into the social media landscape?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, why is it different than Facebook? Why is it better or different or better
Yeah.
uh, than that or Twitter or something like that?
Yeah, so they all have their own benefits and advantages, of course, right? So, and I think whenever any business, but certainly small businesses where their budgets are a little bit more limited, I always suggest only be on the platforms where your clients and referral sources are. Certainly being on all the platforms is going to help with your search engine optimization, but if you have a limited budget, you should really prioritize these platforms. Don't necessarily waste your time on a platform where your clients and referral sources may not be, right? So Facebook is clearly one of the biggest social platforms out there. It's great for social purposes. It's also great for businesses as well. But it's very B2C, generally speaking. If you're targeting other consumers, Facebook's is a great place for you. LinkedIn, on the other hand, is really targeting. You get some consumer base, there, but you're going to get more effective if a better strategy would be there is if you're targeting professionals, of course, that work at other businesses. That's how it differs from others. Better to target B2B. Facebook typically is best to target B2C there. So just a general idea. But I also want to indicate one other thing is social. It's called a social platform or a social network. There's nothing social about it. It's all business. There's no fun and games here. It's a serious platform that you should take very seriously every move you make, even on your profile page, your individual profile page, as well as your business page. There's a certain expectation on the platform that it's all business and only quality content is shared there. You're not going to be posting pictures of you on your family vacation or your new car, etc. That's to be on other platforms outside of the LinkedIn platform.
I got you. You mentioned my personal platform or a person's personal platform or profile,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
business profile. What are the parts of a LinkedIn profile and how do you do a business profile?
Sure, good question. So they're very, very different. And I know in the early days of LinkedIn, folks used to create, in order to register for an account, you have to have an individual profile page. So Jim, you set up your page for Jim, and then probably at a later point, you created a company page, which is separate for your business. In the early days, before folks knew there was a separate type of page for company pages, they used to create two profile pages, one for themselves and one for their business. I don't see that happening too often, which is good because it gets very confusing for the searcher. If somebody's looking for you and they see you had two profile pages, one with the picture, one with the logo, it's very confusing and it's not clearly a company page. So I highly recommend for any business, absolutely have a personal profile page. Be sure your staff, your key staff members have profile pages as well. And then have company pages with certainty. Even if you are a sole practitioner, having a company page is very, very important to do so. But you're right, Jim, they're very, very different. Company pages is very much a static kind of page. It describes your company, right? So it's just a company description, very similar to what you would put on your website about page in a lot of ways. Your profile page is very much about you, for sure, but and it also depends, what you put on your profile page depends on, well, how are you going to use your profile? Why are you using LinkedIn? There's many ways, as I mentioned before, you can use LinkedIn, job search, looking for a talented pool of folks, or for marketing and marketing purposes and business development purposes. If it's the latter, be sure your profile page talks about you and your business and how you can help your client if you're going to be using it for that. If you're looking to find a job, then certainly be sure it's very resume-like and focuses on all your skills and accomplishments that are going to help you find another similar job or better job than you currently have now. So always decide what your objective is before writing anything on there. But if you're using it for marketing and business development purposes, then really it should be, components about you, what you bring to the business, and then what are the client benefits? What are the pain points you relieve for your clients, and how you can help folks and what products or services you offer. So
that's really good advice, Susan. So if I'm starting out on LinkedIn, or even if I've been on it for a while, what are some of the things that I should be doing myself that will help me target more people and build my network?
Yeah. So there's 3 steps to being successful on the platform, and they are exactly the same for every type of business in any kind of geography. Those are three same steps. Now, who you target and the content you share, that will all be different for everyone, but the steps are very, very much the same. Step one is your presence. So we have already spent a lot of time on the pages, and that's what I call your presence. So your pages, you, your staff, your company, they must be very client-centric, as I mentioned. They should be search optimized, so you're easily found in a search as well. And you should have consistent branding to your website and other social platforms and your perhaps email marketing account if you have one. So those are the main components of your pages. Profile pages are cool because you can add featured websites or podcasts or interviews, which is very, very nice way to do that as well, which is a fairly new feature, which I'm a big fan of, highlighting your work right there towards the top of your profile. So pages are great. It's once you're done with it. You don't have to worry about that essentially. But step 2 and 3, that's less of a passive. It's more of an active approach, and you need to be doing that on a regular basis. So 2 is growing your network to your ideal clients, your prospects, and or referral sources. And to really, that answers your question. How do you target those individuals, right? Well, first have a very clear idea of who those people are. Where do they work? What's their business title, et cetera. Whatever that persona or whoever that target of particular segments that you're going to be targeting. Square that all away, or marketing fundamental. And then it's quite easy to find those individuals on LinkedIn. Even with the basic free account, that search bar at the top left of LinkedIn doesn't just search people's names and company names. It works very similar to a Google search browser. You can search keywords, products, services, etc. It's very sophisticated and getting more sophisticated all the time, which is why it's really important for us to add those search optimized words that we want to be found on in our profile, because we want other people to find us. But if we're looking for them, pretty easy. If I know one of my great referral sources, let's say, are business consultants or business coaches in Connecticut or in the greater New York City area, just putting those few little keywords up in the search bar, I'm going to get a slew of people that will come out in the search report for me, which is wonderful. And then you can easily connect with those individuals as well. So that it does make it very easy. I always advise, because I know this is a very common question, should I get a premium account? Is it worth it to get a premium account? And I recommend, yes, it makes sense only if you're really prospecting 80% of your time. If you're mostly in charge of business development in your firm, then it probably makes sense to get LinkedIn's top-end Sales Navigator account to do that, because it makes it very easy to target, and then you can save your searches. On a basic account, you just run that search. You have to keep running it each time you want to do that. With a Sales Navigator account, you have all the filters. You have over 20 filters to choose from, target filters to choose from, and then you can add it and save it as a search, or many different searches if you are targeting different segments as well, and then do your outreach from there. So.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So this can take up a little time, more than a little, if you're new to it. And I was going to ask you something else, but I'll think of it anyway.
That's step 3 as well. We don't have to get to it yet, but if you want to finish the precision piece, we could do that too.
Yeah. I'd like to. So I guess my thought is, as a small business owner, I understand how valuable LinkedIn can be for targeting and finding all of this. But when should I call in a professional?
Mhm.
What 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 can you provide that will help save me time and money and make this work and the
Sure. Okay.
SQL and all of that?
Yeah, I'll be glad to answer that question. But I'm going to tell you that question. I'm going to tell you the answer to that question in a moment because I have decided step 3 will be probably helpful to answer now.
That's good.
To the next question. So just to review, 1 is an enhanced presence on the platform. 2 is growing your network to your ideal clients, prospects, referral sources. And step 3 is engaging. That's where you actively have to post on the platform, comment on the posts of others as well. Being active and engaging on the platform not only will it search optimize your own presence on LinkedIn, so LinkedIn will show your information to people more easily, but it then tells all these people you're growing your network to who you are, what you do, how you can help them. It's a wonderful marketing touch point to post on a regular basis as well as comment on the post of other people as well. And what should you be posting? Well, you should be talking about what you're an expert on, exactly what people would expect you to be discussing, right? If I'm posting on the platform, what do you think I'm going to be posting about? LinkedIn tips or how you can use it properly, et cetera. And so that's what everybody would expect. You're an expert in what you do. Give out some of that expertise as well. It's a great way to do that. So being active is a key part to step 3.
Yeah.
Of the step 3. So to answer your question, when to use a professional rather than to do it yourself. Well, that's just a general, what we've been talking about. This is mostly a marketing initiative. It's really like, well, when you start paying for marketing or doing it yourself? And it's a matter of when you're ready and you have the budget to do it. Yeah, there's a lot of great things you can do, and I love for people to work the platform themselves. But if you don't have the time, if you're running your business with your expertise and don't have time to do your marketing or other operations of your business, then you need to bring in experts to help you do that. And these, especially around marketing, these digital platforms are changing every day. Even to bring in one marketing person to be the jack of all trades is very difficult because it's almost impossible because it's changing all the time. So I strongly recommend bringing in experts that really do know the platform and create, obviously only be on the platforms that you absolutely necessary need to do it yourself. But for very small businesses, what I recommend, yes, figure out what you're good at. And if you don't have the budget to give it all out to someone, then just do the good things that you do. Let's say you just love to write and you always find the time to write, then getting content out on a regular basis might be something you're going to do. Or conversely, maybe growing your network is something that you love to do. You love that ability of searching, running a search, creating a script, and sending it out to those folks. And so that might be a way that you can start just doing one of those and maybe outsourcing another component for you. But it's really around time, how much time you have, and for any of this to work. Can it work? Does it work every day? Yes, as long as you have a good process and you follow through on it week after week, it's going to work for you.
Right. And you can help me with that. You could help me develop, or a professional could help someone like me develop that process in the system. That was my other point. How often should I post? And you've really answered that question. Where can I go, or where can someone go for help in the meantime? If I'm not sure that we should work together yet, or I need to do so. That's not a good way to ask that. That I'm not sure I need a pro yet, but where can I go to learn more about LinkedIn?
Yeah, oh my God, there's a plethora of stuff if you just search online. LinkedIn Help, LinkedIn to grow your business. So just Google searching, but LinkedIn has one of their premium accounts, even their business premium, which I don't recommend for prospecting, that premium account, but it does have LinkedIn Learning in there, which is a lot of great tutorials and learning videos there that you can certainly find the ins and outs of how to best use LinkedIn on your own to do that. So yeah, there's no shortage. If you search, you're going to find a good place to do so.
I gotcha. Can we cover what the different accounts are?
Of course, yeah. So from the yeah, we'll go on. Yeah, let's start with basic account. That's free. You sign up. There's nothing, even a company page. You can get a company page for free. A business account, a business account for free, no problem. And you can update it and post from it for years to come. The next upgrade is called Business Premium, and that gives you unlimited search capability. So you can search as much as you like. You can't save any of your searches. You can send out a certain amount of emails or LinkedIn messages. These are messages that you can send to people that you're not connected to. Usually, the only way you can direct message people on the platform is if you're a connection of each other to do so. But Business Premium gives you a certain amount of those emails to send each month, which is actually very nice. Oh, somebody is at my door. Hang on one second.
Oh, you got it. Business is always going on. That's a good thing.
I'm renting an office temporarily, and the owner is selling it. So the appraiser is here to come check out. So yes, exactly. So remind me. Business Premium. So so those are some of the advantages: unlimited search, as well as those in-mails, those certain amount of free in-mails that you get each month. You get that learning capability with all those videos as well. So that actually works out nicely too. Sales Navigator is the one up, and that's about $80 a month. That gives you, it's a whole separate platform. It's not even in the LinkedIn platform, it's separate, but it's easy to get to. But you'll see it looks a little different than the regular platform that we go to for the basic and for Business Premium. But that's where you can get unlimited searches, a ton more in-mails. You can save a number of searches. You could also create lead lists there as well, and a host of other things. So that's how the premium accounts go. Then there's also a career premium account that just gives you a lot more search and some in-mails as well. It also can alert other people, like recruiters, that you are looking for an opportunity as well. So there's some advantages for career folks too. Another premium account is for recruiters, which is pretty pricey, but it helps them easily find good candidates for their business. So a general overview of the premium accounts. Plus, on top of that is advertising that businesses can avail themselves, where you can boost and sponsor posts. You could do retargeting. You could do lead generation programs. I use a lot of those for my clients, in addition to some organic outreach, and both of those work actually very well. So.
Great.
Those are all the ways that you could pay LinkedIn for some additional advantages.
Yeah. Let's backtrack just a little bit. You mentioned connections. If I'm new to LinkedIn, what are connections? What are those? First, third, second, whatever.
Yeah,
what are those?
Yeah, LinkedIn terminology. So When someone sent, so the only way essentially that you can become a connection of another person on LinkedIn is somebody needs to initiate a LinkedIn invitation, indicating that you would like to be part of, you would like to add this individual to their professional network. So you have to send a LinkedIn invitation to do so. Once that person accepts your invitation, then you are a first degree connection. So you're a friend. Use Facebook's terminology. It's very similar to being a friend of someone's on the platform. A second degree connection is when one of your, someone in your network who they're connected to. So who they are connected to is all the second connections to you, which is the best way to grow your network is searching on, of course, those second degree connections, because you already have something in common. You each have the same connection. So that's a great way to start a new business relationship. And then the third degree connections are just that much further out. They're second degree connections, and they're so after that. So
This is great. We were talking about how to reach out to people we don't know this morning in a group I'm in, and LinkedIn is perfect for that and growing your network. Talk to me a little bit about groups, because I know you can have a group on LinkedIn. Should I be joining groups? Should I make a group? How do you use groups?
Yeah, so groups are very interesting, and I recommend them. They can be tedious, and they're not all very fruitful, but I do suggest that you check them out. I think, maybe not as a priority step, if you're new to the LinkedIn and just starting out with it, definitely growing your network individually, targeting those individuals that can help you or you can help them with their business is certainly the priority. But a secondary goal would be to start investigating groups, because what's cool about groups are it tells you what these individuals' interests are. So it's another data point on top of all the other stuff individuals are putting in their profile data, all the demographic kind of data that they put in there. Now you start to get interest related data, because there are groups that are business groups, social groups, interest group, something that red wine group, or a business group, right? So this really runs the gamut. So it's just great intel. If you really have a very well thought through persona who you're targeting, that might make it a little easier to find those folks based on interest and behaviors by checking out some groups. So the same thing, just like you can search in that search bar for people, companies, at the top left there, you can also search different types of groups as well. And I highly recommend you people investigating them and testing the water and trying it out. You can post in there, you can make connections with other folks. It can be very fruitful. But as I said, it could be tedious. Don't take on too many initially.
Right.
It may not be a great group. So if it isn't, you can always leave. So
yeah.
And should you start a group? Sure, you could start a group. If there isn't the kind of group that you think is beneficial for you and your business or for others, then yeah, sure, you certainly can do so.
So let's talk a little bit about LQ LaCourte and you, because you do a lot more than what we've talked about. What are some of the things that you do that help business with LinkedIn? But I know you do you really do dig deep. And how do you do that?
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you. Thanks, Jim. So right. I like to, as you mentioned at the top of the call, I'm a digital. I own a digital marketing firm. We almost exclusively work on LinkedIn, helping other businesses use it to develop their business, mostly marketing awareness as well as very professional lead generation programs in addition. So every program that we do always includes some discovery. We need to become experts on the business, who they are, get their voice, understand what's authentic, what's important to them, what's the services they offer, what's the benefits of their services, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So discovery is important. And then the next step is always a program design that's going to help them meet their marketing and business development types of goals. But almost every execution program that we have will include enhancing pages. Of course, we have to enhance profile pages as well as company pages. And certainly we include all those components that I mentioned earlier on the call. We, on the lead generation service, we might design an organic program where we write the scripts, we run the searches of the targets, and then we execute that. We do the lead gen execution for them on a month after month, as well as advertising. We do a ton of advertising that can just be on awareness, or it could be generating some leads as well. And lastly, probably around 80% of our time in my shop is spent on content publishing. We have a team of writers that are expert in different industries to help meet all of our clients' needs, understand the business inside and out. And we get out blog posts, LinkedIn posts, sometimes other social media posts, if that makes sense for that particular business, as well as email marketing. And all that content is aligned. There's a content calendar for the whole year. And we just take care of it for them so they don't have to worry about that. Because that's a very time-consuming process for most businesses, especially for smaller businesses.
Yeah. And I know you work with a friend of ours to do content and email marketing. I think we're going to talk to him soon too. But
sounds great. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So how do we reach you? How do we get in touch with you?
Well, you can email me. You can check out my website, but certainly connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd be glad to connect with you. That would be wonderful.
Good. Let's do that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. So what have we missed? Anything else that we should cover that's important?
Well, you had a question that I think this is an interesting one that I might want to share. Do search engines find you on LinkedIn, or do search engines not care about the LinkedIn platform? Is that not an important one for them? Well, the answer is they do care about LinkedIn. In fact, for Google, which is where most of us search, not where all of us search, but where most of us search, Google gives LinkedIn a high page rank. So you're going to really come up to the high in the search results if somebody's searching for you on Google, because they know that data on LinkedIn is very valuable and gives the searcher on a regular basis what they're looking for. And that's what Google wants. They want to give you exactly what you're looking for. So it's incredibly important to the search engines. And if it's important to you to be found in search results, your business, your services, then certainly include all those components, all those keywords into your LinkedIn profile. It's going to help you in the LinkedIn search, as I mentioned before, but it also will help you off the platform too. So, which is actually quite helpful.
Oh yes, I'm glad you brought that up too. So, okay.
You know what, Jim? I think we've covered it all now. I think we've got it all done. Unless you have any more questions.
No, this has been a lot of fun, and I learned a lot, and I hope our audience will. I know our audience will learn a lot too. So,
excellent.
All right. Well, Susan, you have a wonderful rest of the day, and happy Valentine's Day. That's going to date this podcast, but so what? Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you very much. The very same to you, Jim. Have a great weekend.
Okay, you too.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Bye.